Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope all is well. Hope you've had a good weekend and ready to hopefully have a better week. It's been diabolical lately, isn't it? I got to say.
Sweep and Q.
So welcome from the UK, specifically pissing it down here as usual. So, hope everyone's had a good, relaxing weekend. I've had a stressful weekend. As you know, I like the cricket, and we've actually drawn, which means we can't win when we were thrashing Australia. So frustrated just because of the typical British bloody weather. So, there we go. Anyway, life's life in it. So, how you doing, What? All the best this week. Thank you, mate. You too, brother. Hopefully.
Stop and Q buy.
We can get. It's just been tough. There's just been lack of decent setups. I was just watching some old videos, and there's just seem to be so many more. So whether it's, I don't know. I suppose a lot of it's got to do with volume. Maybe, I don't know. You think less volume, less trade. I suppose makes sense. I have been flicking in and out of the 500 tick and the 1,000 tick just to see if it looks any better. What time is it? I mean, if you go down to the 500 tick, I mean, the ATR is 255. It takes the ATR right down, obviously less risk, but you can see there's a couple of legs down there, and there's a second entry long there. And I was looking at this and I thought, there seems to be more setups for some reason, because there's more bars. I mean, we touched here. I don't know what's going on here, but we seem to, whatever we're doing, we seem to be working up, and we've had two legs. And then we push up above the EMA, and we come down, and it tries to push up, and there's a nice big bearish bar there, which triggers, and then you get this one. And I was looking at this thinking, it's a second entry long, with one leg up, two legs up, traps and shorts, and it's working. So there seems to be a lot more setups for some reason, because obviously there's more bars. So that's the 500 tick and the 1,000 tick. Obviously a little bit less volume, but there's that trade there that I just looked at. There's no entry there, see? So, I don't know. I mean, we've all heard Max say it doesn't matter what time frame you trade, it all works the same. So, I'm just thinking, look at that. That looks so much more attractive, doesn't it? There's so much more volume. We're clearly working up, but I love that trade there. I really like that. Second entry long, we're clearly pushed above the EMA. Now that's dropped, isn't it? Now sometimes if it drops, pulls back up and then drops again, but it hasn't. And then we've got these two there. Second entry long, maybe a higher low, but I really like that trade. And look at that, it just worked really nice. But leg, whether you'd have taken that one, I mean, it's basically about as bullish as you can get. But there just seems to be so much more setups. One leg, two leg, maybe call that a higher low. I kind of like that one as well. That worked. Maybe first entry. I don't know whether you go a higher low here, but there just seems to be more entries on the 500 tick because there's less volume. So there's more bars. I don't know, the details there. Sometimes you got to look at the detail to see the bigger picture. And at the moment, the bigger picture is the 2,000 tick chart. So if you go 4 times the size, but it just looks, I mean, obviously I've got the trend channel drawn differently because obviously I've flicked over, but there's so much more detail there. And it just, if you look up, there's a second entry long there. So whether you'd have taken that one or maybe second entry long there, I don't know. But there just seems more detail. But I really like that, I did. But I'm just wondering sometimes whether you're better off maybe finding some more detail. But this is the 2,000 tick chart. But no setup there, see? There was a setup on the other one, but no setup. The trouble is, because there's that little volume, we're getting that little bars, we're not getting enough detail. So, I don't know. It is what it is anyway. So, who else? Ionis, how you doing? Indy, how you doing, bud? Alex, hello. JP, how you doing? Sam, hi all. Dr. Looney, how are you? Groll Daddy, good morning. 500 will give you more than 4 times the bars. I know. And I've just seen a couple of setups on there, so I don't know what I don't know what to do. It should make, like Max says, it doesn't matter what you trade. So I don't know, just out of curiosity, I might have the 500 tick chart just on a separate screen above my head or something. Just keep an eye on it, see if it does offer you more detail. But while there's a lot less, I mean, what I will say is there's just so little trades on the 2000 tick chart lately, just so little.
Sweep yes.
And, you know, it can't carry on like this, otherwise we're going to struggle to make
Sweep
bloody money.
yes. Absorption buyers yes.
Okay, so just like I
Stop
thought,
ES
leg
buy.
and a leg. So market's officially open,
Stop
so
NQ buy.
there's a measured
Sweep
leg
yes.
there. We may
Absorption
get up here,
sellers
it's
NQ.
possible. So there we
Stop
go.
ES
So what
buy.
else have I missed? Exponential trade. That's an all. Can you silence? Sorry, brother. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do that, don't I? So there is some liquidity there, so I expect that to be hit. Big bunch of it. And then maybe up here or fell break. I don't know. I don't think I want to be looking for fell breakouts just yet. And what I will say, let's pop that there because we have got some news in about 14 minutes. So, but also I've got the 10,000 tick chart in front of me as well, and we got a leg, and it looks like we're going to get another leg. So if that's a leg and we get another matching leg, it's going to take us up to this second leg here. So I'm just trying to give myself a little bit more detail. Stop NQ buy. Yeah, it's sorted, mate. I've just killed it. So I'd say this is pretty much where I expected it. We may get a bit of a pullback first, but that's played out. So I expect maybe a couple of legs back. But we've got a leg up here. That looks like 2 legs of correction to me. So I would say we may end up having something like this. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that just to continue up. I'd expect a bit of a pullback first, but there we go anyway. So let's just bring that back a sec. So yeah, it's just, I'm finding trading frustrating at the moment. It just seems like a completely different world than what it was a year ago. I was just looking back at some of my old charts and there were so many more setups. Okay, so I'm seeing strong liquidity up here. Now, leg, I will probably on something like this, I will be thinking it's going to play that leg out and then finish. But because I can see these liquidity levels up here, it's just giving me that extra confidence that it is going to get up here. So whether it'll do it one push or whether it'll come back a little, maybe trap some shorts up here. I don't know. What time is the news? It's in about 12 minutes. It's 2:45 UK time, so about 12 minutes. So for instance, maybe you take this short here, leg up. I'm not, because I know these liquidity levels. So whether it will come back to the EMA or not, I don't know. But I know there's strong liquidity up here, so that would it's just making me be a little bit more cautious. But it may come back. I did expect a bit of a pullback, but there is strong liquidity up top. Let me have a look. There's some 83, 84, and 90 actually. Yeah, it'd be nice to get a decent week. Just get a few decent trades this week or a few decent setups. As I say, over the weekend, I was looking back on some of my charts and there was so many more setups. 3, 4, 5, 6 in a day and really good, obvious setups. Struggle to find a couple of decent ones in a day now. I think I didn't take any Friday. I took one Thursday. I mean, if I could get 5 good solid trades in a week, I'd be pleased, but I don't know, it just seems hard to find that now. Chat really doesn't like me trying to type in a time. Okay, so, yeah, so, you know, Now, the fact that we got this measured leg, so whether you see this measured leg, I don't know. It was relatively obvious. We got a leg up, 2 legs back. I can see that. But another reason it would keep me out of that trade is because I know there's strong liquidity. So if anybody did think, oh, fail breakout here, let's get back in, you got trapped. It went down a few ticks and it went down, I don't know, 3/4 of a point and then reversed. So we've hit those liquidity levels, which is what I expected. And we played out that measured leg as well. So I was looking for a trade here as well. I looked at something like that. And I thought, I had my suspicions. It wasn't really a great setup. And obviously you're coming up to these highs. But I was pretty reasonably confident that we were going to get up here. But if you'd have took a trade like that and just decided to hold and even come out. I mean, look at that, 10 points. Christ almighty. If I could get 10 points every week, I'd be the happiest bloke alive. One trade. For your information, if you traded SIM over the weekend, check your trade copy to make sure the lead account is set to SIM. No, it's not. It's set to PA24, which is that one. So yeah, I check and double check now, mate. Because I got into a bit of bother before. Speedy, how you doing, buddy? NC 84 is Friday high. 84 is Friday's high. In fact, I'll tell you what I haven't done. I usually mark yesterday's or last, well, Friday it was. There's the high. It has reacted to this a little bit. I usually draw those. Yesterday's highs and lows. I haven't drawn the open either. So let me have a look. So yesterday's highs is at 90. Funnily enough, we've got a nice big chunk of liquidity up there. So maybe we may end up being in a bigger channel here, and wouldn't that be nice? Right, keep it in mind, folks. The news is about to appear soon. So what was I just doing? I was about to do something then. Anyway, so it would be nice now. Funnily enough, that works there. They're really nice there. There. If we can get back to here and start to move up, that would be wonderful. Sorry, I know what it was. It was the open, wasn't it? I haven't done the open, which is there. New day's open. Okay. And also, official market open was around about here. That would have been there. Excellent. Okay, so there is a possible, I mean, there's just 2 legs for now, but there is a possible channel going there. So look. So we've had such a strong move on the S&P 500, and we peaked out here. We peaked here, didn't we? And we've come down a bit in a channel. Maybe had a break. I don't know, but I think we're probably due for some upward stuff again. I don't know, actually. Okay, so let me have a look. Okay, so this does seem to be like moving. We've had a leg and a leg up there, so maybe a leg and a leg back. Got to be careful here, though, because it could be just a leg and a leg. There's no guarantees we're in a channel, but if it does react here, one leg down, and bounce and start to move up, there is lots of liquidity starting around about 84.5 upwards, which is somewhere around about there. Let me have a look. $84.5 to 86. Oh. Second entry long there. Trouble is, one leg, two legs. I'd have preferred waiting for. I tend to not take these now just in case it triggers you and bounces off here. So I wait for the higher low. Unfortunately, we haven't got anything, so. But it is a second entry long. It's clearly a leg and a leg, but it's just a bit below the EMA. And if we are in this channel, it's a little bit higher than where I'd have liked it to now. I don't know whether anybody took that, but if you did, you certainly got a couple of points out of it. But there is strong liquidity levels here, so and up as far as 90 as well, funnily enough, which is over the weekend. Right, keep it in mind, folks, because I keep forgetting this. There is some news, so careful if you get into a trade now, because if you've got a PA account and we get a big spike, it can wipe it out. You've got a 2-point stop down here or a 3-point stop, you're in a trade. Market drops powerfully, it can take a lot more than 3 points off you. So there's an indicator on Intraday called previous day. Yeah, I know. I tend to do it myself for some reason. I don't know why. There was something I didn't like about it. It sort of follows you up like this. I don't quite know. I think wait for the higher low. Yeah. Trouble is, we're getting close to these highs, aren't we? And this is where I see the liquidity. There is some above 90, but we may hit this and then come back here a bit. So it's a bit too high for a higher low, but what I will say is there's news in about 2.5 minutes, so I've traded through news before in the past, just due to lack of experience and not concentrating, but not on a PA account, just on a valuation, and I've had my valuations wiped out in a split second. So it's imperative you don't trade through these news. Sometimes you get nothing. 2 months ago, we had a 55-point green bar. So it can be devastating to your accounts. And if you're trading multiple accounts and you've got a 2-point stop and it drops quickly, it can go straight through that stop and it can take you out for a lot more. So, I mean, if you trade in the hourly chart or the daily, the news isn't going to have a massive effect on you because obviously you're trading in a much bigger picture, but we're trading a small section of the market here. So right, so there's some at 88 and there's some at 90, so let's have a look. 90 to 88, so let's move that up. 90 to 88. So in fact, Brant asked me the question. I'd have to think about that again, whether it helps me. I know that there's lots of orders up here, so I know the chance of it coming higher is good, and it just gives me that extra little bit of indication and confidence if I'm going long here. Now, if I can get into a long here, and we're respecting the tops and bottoms of a channel, I'd more be interested in trying to take a few more points out of it. Maybe not at the moment, but once I start getting regular monthly payments and I start to get my bank balance looking quite healthy and the accounts are growing, because there's so little. I mean, I took a trade, was it like about Wednesday? And we were in one of the nicest channels I've seen for a long time. Was it that one? No, I can't remember what it was. It was just a beautiful channel. And we came back, there was a trade here which I took. It was high or low. A load of us took it, and the measured leg took us up here, and I was so tempted to hold, but because my confidence are out of whack at the moment, and I wanted to build my accounts, I just took the 2 points, and it went up for 10.5 points, and it ticked one tick above there, so I pretty much knew it was going to do that. But 2 points, 10 points, if you can just pick up the right ones. Now, I'm only saying that it would interest me in a strong trend. If it can come back to the EMA, get a really nice setup, and it's a strong trend, it just makes sense to try and get more points. Because, it doesn't often happen. Okay, news. 20 seconds. Let's see what's going on. So, whether anything will happen, I don't know, but all of a sudden, if you look on Bookmap, apart from right up the top, everything around here is disappeared. So it just goes to show people get out of trades. Okay, so we got leg, 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 leg. It's possible that could push up for another leg. The only bit that makes me nervous is it's not coming back to the EMA. So okay, so nothing major in the news really so far. I like to see another reason Bookmap is I like to see a few more traders start to come back in the market really before I get in. And there's some liquidity starting to come back. There was a big area where it was literally, there was a column like that which was black, which tells me very little liquidity. So everyone was out of trades. Still had profits up here, but you know, if people are trading a bigger time frame and they're trading down here, maybe that spike in the news isn't going to affect them too much. But so we got leg, 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 probably leg, leg. So maybe leg, leg. So maybe we can find something back up. But in all fairness, I would like to see this confirmed here really before I think about going long. So if that can stop here and hold here somewhere, that's good enough. And then find something bullish, then I might be interested in a higher low. Whether we're going to have to get it or not, I don't know. But okay, so we can get rid of that now. Okay, just wondering whether there's going to be some shorts here. I'm not thinking of going short at the moment. I'm not thinking of going long either, really. Once, twice, three. Okay, so we've dropped out of here. Looks like a couple of legs, maybe. Leg. See if we can push up by the EMA and make a new high up here. I am still aware of these liquidity levels up here from 87 onwards, so I think it's likely we're going to hit those. I would have preferred to see another hit on this channel, but it still looks to me like it's okay. We'll see. Right, this is where you've got to be careful. Now, thinking this is a channel in the past have gone for longs here. Now, that might be the case. And what I've missed is there's a channel coming out. Maybe this bigger channel, in fact, it's probably safe to remove it. All we've had at the moment is 2 legs which have played out. We've come back and we've retested this high. So are we going to go higher? It's hard to say. You could take that thinking, oh yeah, we're going higher, break these new highs. In a lot of cases, you'll take that, it'll trap you and come down. And what it'll be is a small break out of another channel. And that, to me, looks like probably what's going to happen. Let's see. You might think, oh yeah, channel up here. There we go, see? So that's why I got rid of that channel. Sometimes they can have you. Now, I'm aware, and I've mentioned it, so straight away you're thinking, oh, we've had a break of this channel, 1 leg down. Oh yeah, look, okay, so we've had a break of it. Bullish bar, now we got a higher low. Oh yeah, great indication to go higher. Triggers you, stops you straight out. And this may be then just a small break from this little channel come down, which is exactly what's happened. So I saw that happening, that this one is going to get triggered. That's the trouble with drawing these bigger channels. And I've learned that the hard way. You draw these bigger channels, as soon as we get a break, we're looking for a long. And you see that one there, you think, oh, I'm not going to take that one. Let's be safe and wait for the higher low. You take the higher low, triggers you, comes straight down and stops you out. Because it's only really confirmed. It hasn't confirmed that it's a channel. All it is a leg with a 2-legged correction and another leg. Yeah, it's gone back up and retested it. So even if you have this as maybe, let's have a look, maybe a smaller channel. See, that would work. Smaller channel maybe. 2 legs back, little break, push up, new high, reversal. So that's why I'm trying to not get into these channels until they've confirmed it 3 times and pushed up for a 3rd time. But what's happened is we touched here, had a little break, come down. So it's just, I try to be aware now. If I'm looking for a trade, one, have I got my channels right? And is it likely going to trap me? And that to me was just a trap. There have been inexperienced traders, and me included in the past, would have thought, oh yeah, break out of this. Oh, what'll we do? We'll look for a new high. Oh, do I take that one? No. Oh, high, low. Yeah, there we go. Boom. Triggers you, stops you out. So, you know, when you get stopped out from these trades, you are getting a useful lesson. And I know you beat yourself up about it, but you have to make these mistakes and you have to get trapped. Best way to learn how not to get trapped is to get trapped. So we touched here, touched here. Working pretty nice on the backside. Afternoon chaps, not trading today, but I'm wishing you all the very best setups. Have a great day, lads. Nice of you, mate. Thanks, Brick. All the best to you, my friend. So, now, do we end up having a range again? I wouldn't be shocked. Spend half our life in a range. Okay, so I am aware that liquidity is there, so it may be picked up at some time. So leg. So I'm to the level now where I can see these happening, but I'm not confident enough to be able to go, oh yeah, we're going to trap some shorts here, trap some longs here. Oh, let's get in there, because yeah, there is that one there, and that's the bar that's going to trap them out. But also there's 4 bars, so it's still a little bit congested, but if it is a second entry short and you're trapping some long stuff, you know what you're doing. But I'm just extra cautious at the moment. So those are the types of traps that you'll, with experience, I suppose you'll just get better and better at doing. So that measured move is played out. Oh, what was that? I don't know what I did there. That measured move is played out. Second entry on about that one there. The one I just mentioned. Yeah. I mean, it was a second entry, but it's also got 4 bars side by side. So I just, because markets have been bad lately, I just didn't, I wasn't going to get double trapped. I thought it might trigger you there, stop you out there, trigger some more, and then push up and stop them out. So I'm just extra cautious at the moment. Okay, so there is a channel working down here, so whether you call that an overshoot, I'm not convinced it is. There is sort of hidden second entry short there, but we're a little bit too far from that EMA for me, and I'm not a massive fan of the bar. I'm having a super gigabit fiber fitted week today. So hopefully these little conversations we have about trades should happen within a couple of seconds. So 1 leg, 2 leg. Let's see if there's a short here. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Knock on the door. Okay. Leg. One leg, 2 leg.
Order filled.
Okay, there's a failure there. It was a tick higher than I wanted to. I thought there might be some shorts there, so that might be a good place to go short. I jumped in a little higher than I wanted to. So, I'm going to get out of this. Just for a point. No, I don't like this. I want out of it.
Order filled.
Okay. I was a little bit distracted there. So we had a knock at the door. It looked like a bottoming pattern there with a higher low. I thought there may be a second entry. There may have been some shorts trapped there, but it's just... I got 3 ticks out of it, so it's better than a kick in the teeth anyway. I rushed that a little bit there. Let me have a look. Right, let me just think about this. Okay, I took that away because it hadn't confirmed. I suppose we had done. I thought we were in a downtrend. I think this to me looks like we're bottoming out. So let me have a look. We've come from here, so we've touched here. I'm not convinced this is a touch. Now, for me, I think there's a small overshoot there. A small overshoot, and it looks like a bottoming pattern, and it's pushing up. Now, I thought it may trap some shorts there. So that's why when that triggered below and pushed up, I jumped in here. But, you know, when you take a trade and you think, oh, hold on a minute, I haven't thought about this clearly, I've just got a bit distracted, see. I would say... news, not that I'm aware of. It looked like a bottoming pattern, and I saw that one appear, and I thought I'm going to miss this move, like I missed that one. And I got out of it for 3/4 of a point anyway. Is it going up? I think so. Did it go up? Okay, it definitely scalped, so that's okay. I was just a bit torn there. I saw that and I was thinking, hold on a minute, have I jumped the gun here? It looks like a bit of an overshoot, and it's not confirmed in 3 places really. You could say there, you may say that's confirmed. I don't know. For me, that's just the first push away. That's the first time it's come back, and it hasn't there, and that looks like it's bottoming to me. And then when we had a push up, there's a second entry short there. Now, it ideally wanted to be a tick a bit higher, but there may have been some traders who take that, and it triggered. And then when it triggered and pushed up, I thought, well, yeah, we'll get in there. And then I thought, hold on a minute, I haven't really thought clearly there. We've just had someone at the door, and I've just got a bit distracted. I think it's going to be okay anyway, but I got out of it for a few ticks. So whether you call that an overshoot or it hasn't confirmed it, I don't know. Let's have a look. Yeah, when you jump in a trade and you think, oh, hold on a minute. I haven't thought clearly there. Okay, so that looks... like a measured leg to me, a little bit above a measured leg. That it does look like a bottoming pattern. So I just think I jumped in a little bit. I like to see the fail. Yes, it is. If you look at this, it's a second entry short, yeah, and when that triggers below, it's a failure. Now, to me, it's going a bit sideways, but I still think it's going to go up. There's a second entry long there. But it's a little bit congested here. It's all right. I took that away, and I thought, did I think clearly? Did I just get distracted with a knock on the door? I'd say that's still safe. I would say this is a slightly wider channel. Okay, let's get rid of it for a minute. Okay, there's a failed second entry short there. Failed second entry long. I think that's going to trigger and push up. It does look like a bottoming pattern to me. We've bounced a couple of times. We've had a double bottom. We've pushed up and we've bounced slightly higher. So for me, it's looking like it's working up. Now, there's that channel is right and we've had a small overshoot, or it's not right. But I'd say took it on the engulfing. Yeah, so you took it there. It's probably about where I got into it, to be fair. Where did I get into it? Yes, I was probably a tick higher than you, so I got into it there. Yes, I was probably... No, it's a bit higher, actually. There's a few traps here, I'd say, so... that's where I'd have wanted to get into it. And that's where I did. So, yeah, I think it's only a tick higher than I wanted to. But this, to me, it just looks like it's bottoming out. We pushed down, we've had a double top, we've pushed up, and we've hit again, and we've pushed up quite strongly above the EMA. And we've come down and finished quite bullish, trapping some shorts. So I'd say if you took that trade, you're safe, I think. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Let me have a look at this. Let me have a look at this. So, this is a break in the new low then. Quickly on the trap I took. So, you took that trap there, did you? So, if you took it there, you'd have got a 1.5. I'm assuming that's the trap you took there, was it? So it was leg and a leg, and there was a bearish bar which triggered and then pushed straight up. I jumped in here. So it came down and would have stopped that out. It's all right, that knock at the door, I had to go and sign for a parcel. It just distracted me a little bit. Although that works in there, I can't say it's confirmed that because it's pushed above it. So we've only really touched once, and I don't know whether you class that as second touch, possibly. So perhaps it is working there, but then if you adjust this, that could be a bit of an overshoot. Now, as tiny as it is, I've got in trades before and someone said to me, yeah, but there's a small overshoot, so I'm trying to aware of that, but then there is a failure, and it is a second entry short, and it's a failure, but didn't do what I expected it to. I thought it might get quite strong after that, but it wasn't a great signal bar to go short, even if you wanted to. I mean, you'd really want that at least level with that, possibly higher. But I'm surprised that came down and stopped that out. You took that short, not a long. You took that short, or did you short up here? Because it's a bit... So you took the failure, so you took that failure there, did you? So, trouble is, it's so congested, you just don't know, do you? So it went for 2.5, so you'd have got 2 points out of it anyway. Are we going lower? Leg. That's what I mean about sometimes these bigger channels. can get you a bit confused. I don't know whether you class that as a second touch, push down. I suppose it possibly was, then a third touch. So, do you know, sometimes I see Mac moving these out and touching this outermost bit and not touching a couple of places here. But that way you miss the overshoot. So I'm not saying it was an overshoot. I just like to be cautious. And if it was an overshoot, in a lot of cases, as we know, that'll result in the reversal. And then we had that double bottom pushed up. And then it started moving up. And I'm thinking, oh, if anybody took that, maybe a hidden second entry short, triggered and pushed up. And then when there was another second entry short there, another trap. Sellers holding, yeah, it's just getting a bit confusing, isn't it? Yeah, it's just hard to trade. Yeah, I thought that was okay, actually. I thought I was expecting quite a strong push up there. So am I expecting the market to go down now? I'm unsure, really. Let's have a look. Okay, so maybe, see, I'm just looking at the 10,000 tick chart there. I'm keeping that up to give me a bit of a picture. So this was the open. So we had a leg up and a leg up. We got a leg down. So we may have another leg down. Where's my legs on here? There, I'm just going to move that over a bit. So we had a leg up here. I'm just wondering if this makes... I used to have it on there. Okay, so that's right, leg and a leg. So that works out nice. So let's see what we get here. Leg down and a leg down. Well, depending on where this comes to. We've got a small leg up there and a small leg up there, so I can push a bit higher. And I would say quite lightly, it may do that. A leg down, small two-legged correction, and another leg down. So it's possible. It's possible we could have a little push up and then come down. On here, that would be that leg up. Okay, so leg up. So it did reverse. So whether that is a, well, I say reverse, it could just be a couple of legs out and then down. But I wasn't massively convinced with that channel. It seemed like a leg and another leg. Anything can happen. Yeah, you would. Well, it depends whether you're in the school that's hit it twice. So I think that we've pushed up and we've gone a little bit sideways. So I don't know whether I would class that as a, and not only that, a lot of cases Mac would do that. We'll go off these first two swings, in which case we've had a break, two pushes to a new low. But I'm just not massively convinced that channel is like I've got it drawn. So it could have been just, it could be just a leg, a break, and two legs down to a new low. But it just looked like a bottoming pattern there. And then when I saw that short, I thought, yeah, we're going up. And we did. Unfortunately, we came down by about 3 ticks and stopped anybody who took that out. But you may have been out before then, depending on what you took. I took 3/4 of a point, but I think it went up a bit higher. It went up to, so you'd have got a 1.5 out of that. But I thought that was going to maybe just a little bit down in, push up again. That was surprising, but yeah. That's the trouble with trading. There's so much grey area. It's just not black and white, is it? So if you go from there, that first swing, probably touch there. So in other words, you may say there that is a small overshoot. Or an overshoot here. Anyway, it looked like a bit of a bottoming pattern to me. And then when I saw that hidden second entry, let's get rid of these now. I saw that hidden second entry short there off that key entry point, and that triggered by a few ticks and pushed up, stopped that out. I'm thinking, ooh. And then when I saw that trap there, I thought, yeah, that's going higher. but I didn't. Obviously, it started going sideways then, didn't it? So maybe there's some mixed feelings of me going down, and in the end we went up, which is still wouldn't be a clear close outside. No, well, that's what I mean. So if I'm not sure, I will probably take the safer option and say I'd rather assume it has had a break, which means it could reverse. So it's just trying to find that balance, isn't it, in your comfort zone. But it just goes to show you how much there is in the detail of trading. It's just not as easy as it looks. It just goes to show how bloody difficult it is at times, and so clear. And you can understand why experienced traders get trapped left, right, and centre and get torn to pieces, because I class myself now as just starting to hit the intermediate level where I can read the market well enough to make money, but I'm still learning and I'm still making mistakes. So I'm on after that, I'm 3 or 4 runs up the ladder, so to speak. But if I'm not sure it's a channel, I'd rather assume that we have had a break or an overshoot and then not automatically assume I want to go short. Because if you went short there, it straight away, it triggered and stopped you out, and then it went sideways. So obviously there's traders thinking, are we going up, we're going down. Obviously then we had that drop, took out these shorts, and then it pushed up where it looked like it was going to me anyway. We seemed to have this double bottom. We pushed up, went a bit higher, pushed up, trapped some shorts. And for me, I thought it was going to go up a bit quicker than that. I didn't envisage this bit. I thought, we were going to have something sort of like that. That type of thing. But obviously and that's the thing. There's obviously mixed emotions what we're doing here. I've traded the last couple of sessions without drawing all over my chart. You can see the trends, congestion, etc., but I don't end up over-analysing it. Just see the contracts. Yeah, I know. I think over-analysing it, you go from one extreme to the other. You go from where you're not looking at the details. But I know what you're saying. Sometimes you just got to sit back and look at the bigger picture. It's all part of the journey that we all take, isn't it? We all go through this. Like one thing I've done recently is I've gone from taking poor setups to being a little bit too over strict and sort of almost scared to jump in. So yeah, it's just part of the journey. You have to take the road, don't you? It's like a long, rocky. It's almost like climbing a mountain, really, isn't it? There's bits where there's going to be nice, comfortable dips, and you feel like you know what's going on, and then there are other times where you're lost and you're thinking, where do I go from here? I don't know what happened in that trade though. One of my accounts is $67. The other one is $92. There's another 109. I don't know what's going on here. I think there's obviously a tick difference. I like the way though. What I was finding when I had Apex Trader funding, it would maybe shut some trades down and leave the others open. But now what I'm finding, because I've got 2 different figures in my PA accounts, it's still shutting them both, but within a tick. I'd rather it do that than leave a trade open. So I've got to say I have very, very little trades left open after I'm in trades, and you see I've had no problems with this flow bots, this trade copier replicanto, since I started using it. Excuse me. Okay, so we've had a break. I think it's likely we're going to make a new high. So, maybe we may end up having something like that. Possible. It looks like a leg, and this almost looks like a correction. So I'd say for me, And the more I draw these and expect these to hit, the more they do. And eventually that will entice me into maybe holding on to a trade, because every single day we see these and go, there's a leg, and it goes exactly where we expect it to go. So there's a leg up there, possible second entry long. I think top step better than apex, not twitch all the new changes. Now twitch all the new. I'm not sure what you mean there, Bill. I think top step better than apex. Top steps. I've never tried top step actually. Never tried top step. To be fair, from what little I know about some of the others, I didn't think anybody could touch apex. And the discount as well. I don't know. I think it's the thing about apex. It's the rules, isn't it, or lack of them. You can't accidentally. If I left a trade there, I don't know how people do it, but people have done it. If I go to shut down, if I go to shut down NinjaTrader now, and I've got a trade up, it'll tell me. So, but if for some reason I left one come late tonight or when the market closes, normally you blow an account, but Apex actually kicks you out of it a minute before, so you can't blow an account. So that's a rule I like. Not that, you know, I leave a trade up. I don't know how you could do that in all fairness, but people have done. It doesn't matter how much I lose in a day. There's no rules with maximum loss. I can trade through news, not that you'd want to, but there just seems lack of rules with Apex, and that's kind of what I like. And I've been paid. I've had $8,000 off Apex this year so far. I expect to get a couple of payments the middle of next month, so I know they pay. So I don't know. Everyone's got their own opinions and thoughts about these. I suppose it's what you're used to, what works for you. I don't know. Oh, incidentally, guys, this is the last week of the 80% off. So finishes. I think it finishes a week today. And I would say, from my experience of Apex, they may have 50% off resets for a week, 5 days maybe, and then I would say we'll go back to 80%. Or who knows, they may surprise us. I don't know why they don't do 80% off, buy 3, get 1 free, something like that. You buy 3 of them. Do it 80% off, you buy 3, and you get another 1 free for free. I think that would entice people to buy more of them. Trouble is with Apex, because they've had this 80% off for so long, people just won't pay anything more. Five winning days. Yeah, I don't know. I've not looked into Top Step. I've got an affiliate link from somewhere, but I've just never used it, because I like the affiliate links. It gives me a kickback, and it's nice to have that because it covers my trading costs. But I'll only sort of advocate things that I like or things that I use myself. So the 2 things that I have affiliates for, as you know, is Replicanto, and you know I use it myself, and Apex, and obviously you guys know I use Apex. I have got affiliate links for the others, but in all fairness, I don't use them, so I don't want to advocate something I don't use myself. First trade in. Yeah, see, the trouble is, you could say there's a triple test there, but this to me looks like a leg with 2 legs of correction and another leg higher. So I'm expecting to push higher, which is why I couldn't take that trade. Now, it is a triple test, but in my opinion, it's a triple test in the wrong direction. I would prefer it to go 1, 2, 3 that way and then push higher. So I think if you took that, it's going to break above these personally, I think. Which might not be a bad place to take a long one tick above here, but there will be people putting longs, so. Not only that, we've got a channel. You probably expect to make a new high, but for me, we're looking like we're making a new leg. And I am aware there's strong liquidity up here, so it's, I don't know, it is what it is. For me, Apex just works, and they have very easy rules, and the sales are, yeah, I like Apex, I gotta say. Everything just, yeah, you've actually hit the nail on the head there, mate. Everything just works. It's straightforward. It's simple, isn't it? So there's nothing complicated. There's no, you know, I know with some of them, if you accidentally trade more than you're allowed, it cancels your account. I can't physically trade 10 accounts. It won't let me do it any more than 10 contracts. It won't let me do it. And I like the way. So there's no sort of, you know, little things to trip you up and make mistakes, because we all make mistakes. But I like the fact that, yeah, it doesn't, there's nothing going to trip you up and catch you out, because I think it's unfair. Apparently, I read something in one of the Apex Facebook groups that a guy had $18,000 in some accounts and he was trading copy, and for some reason, don't ask me how, he left a trade open and it tripped and he lost all his accounts. Accounts were cancelled. And there was a bit of a hoo-ha about it, and then maybe a few weeks later, Darren Martin put a video out that you can't do that now. So if you have got a trade, it'll kick you off 1 minute before the market officially closes for its hour or however long it is at the end of the day. Because it's, I mean, $18,000 in a bunch of accounts, you'd be gutted. I don't know how the hell he managed to do it. Perhaps, I don't know, instead of shutting it down, perhaps he just had a trade in here and he got distracted or walked away. I don't know. But you got to be careful. Yeah, I just bought one. It was $39. So I think it's about $49. Oh, sorry, £39. $49. Yes, but Apex is 80% off. It's $33. Apex is $33, so it's about £25 for us, Bill. So yeah, it's not cheaper. I don't know much about the rules at Top Step. No, you can't really. I mean, for me, Apex has got the whole package. Now, I know things like Bullanox, or Bullanox, what are they called? Bollocks, I call them. I think they've... I've just lost my chain of thought now. I think they can have some pretty good deals, some 90% off, but it's the overall package for me with Apex. I just like Apex. They just work well. And another thing as well, I like the way that if there's any issues, Darren Martin, they're constantly on the lookout for helping traders. Yeah, so if you took that trade there, it did what I expected, pushed above them. I thought it might have a bit of a push, but maybe you'd have your stop above there, and we haven't hit that yet, but we will do. Okay, so if you took that, you'd squeeze, oh, I don't know. Where's a tick below there? I can't work out where's a tick. That's a tick there, so it's about here. So you may have not even got a point out of that. You may have done. Depends how you got in, but yeah, that to me was a trap. I prefer that. I mean, for me, we're moving up, so it'd be 1, 2, 3. That would be the bounce. But we got a leg up there. I expect another leg up, which is going to take us up to what I thought. Just scalped out 1 point. Due context, yeah. I know it's a triple test, but in my opinion, it's a triple test in the wrong direction. I prefer it to break and go 1, 2, 3, and then push up. So I don't know. So I'm taking that from there. Maybe you would take it from there. I don't know, but for me, I would say this is where I expect to come to. Now I know there is the yesterday's highs. It's a tick higher than that actually, but that's neither here nor there. But that looks a push up, and a little bit of sideways on the push up. So I'd say there's possibly going to be a bigger channel there, possibly. So that's possible, but as I say, I'm not going to draw any more just yet. So a little bit of sideways here, maybe a retest to the top and then more upwards, I would say. That's what I'm expecting. So let's draw that like that. So a little bit of sideways, break out of it, come back, retest, and then another push up. That's what I'm expecting. Now we are in a range. I don't know. Possible. I expect another leg up here now. Oh, look. That's at what point would you stop expecting a new low high when confirmed channel is bottom? I think Thomas says it retraces about 60%. He changes bias. Yeah, it's hard to say, mate. That is. It's a hard question to answer there. See, I've seen channels like this, and we've had a break, and I've just been constantly focused on going long. And that's a trade that I may have taken in the past, and what happened, it tricked me out. So obviously if we're in a range, it's less important that it makes a new high, because obviously, as we see so many of these channels that push up and then just turn. So I think market conditions have got harder lately. They're not doing what they normally would have done. They're not as predictable. So it's hard to say, mate, really. It's something you just, I suppose, you get a feel for. Is it time to turn? Now, so many times in the past, as I mentioned, my focus there, maybe a year ago or 6 months ago, my focus there, I would have had that channel like that, and my focus would have been going short. I'd have gone short there. Maybe not, but if the same tick there, I'd have probably gone short. So my focus would have been going short. But now I'm noticing these bottoming patterns. Now, before I took that trade quickly, I got rid of that channel, if you remember, because something didn't feel right about it, whether it was an overshoot or whatever. And then we had this double bottom, a push up and another push higher, and then another push higher, and then a relatively bearish bar, but a poor signal bar in my opinion. And we triggered below and pushed up. So for me, we were going to push up, and we did. Unfortunately, we came back just a couple of extra ticks below there and took out any longs, but I expected it to push up. So for me, that channel was over for whatever reason, whether it hasn't touched it 3 times. So more times now, I'm seeing a reversal pattern earlier rather than waiting for it to go up and then looking for something up here, because sometimes you miss the best moves, don't you? So it's an hard question to answer that, bud. So I hope I've done as best as I can. Sorry a minute, my wife's messaging me stuff here. What does she want? So look, is that sweating on the crying? I can see. Oh dear. Oh dear. Sorry, I just had a hard day. So, is there a larger trend? It has multiple confirmations. Yeah, for me, this is a leg, a couple of legs of correction, I'd say so. I don't think it's going to be from here. About the whole thing, you mean? It may be. I did do this earlier, had it from here, so that works okay. Now, that's a big trend for me. That's probably something I may draw later on in the day. But I would probably say, I don't know, it's hard to say at the moment, mate. I tend to try and not draw these bigger channels too soon because they can get me into trouble. And if I look at people like Daniel's charts and Marco's charts, there's a lot more bigger channels on mine, but a lot more individual small short term on theirs. So I think it's better to take the short term and trade it off that. But the bigger picture is telling me this is a leg just made up of two separate legs, and then we've had one leg down and another leg down and then a bit of a bottoming pattern. And we've come back and sort of retested this bit, unfortunately taken any stops out there, but we got a leg up, a little bit of sideways, break out the top, come back and retest the bottom, and I can see us pushing higher. So for me, we're going up here, so there may be something bigger, but it's just too early to tell, really. I don't need a channel to tell me the bias is upwards, but if I'm going to draw that one, it sort of does fit, doesn't it? Close enough at the top, but I don't know. But for me, we're moving up. There's no argument there. So we've pushed out of here, and maybe a fail breakout, but I can see it's going up again. So leg up, leg up. Exponential barbed wire, yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It's a bit tough, that, isn't it? But yeah, I've learnt the hard way. You just got to let that go. Trouble is, when you're a trader or when you're new to trading, you're that keen to take trades. You know what? I remember not long after I started, I put £3,000 or $3,000 or whatever it was into a personal account, and I remember trading, and I worked out for the day something was wrong. I should have been $85 up, but it worked out I'd spent $160 in fees. That's how many trades I took. I took dozens of them. So you do, don't you? You take stupid. Now I'm down to maybe 4 trades a week at a push. Now I'd have had 3 times that a day going back a while ago. But I think you learn. You get. People say you got to take the best quality trades, and it's hard to know exactly how strict and disciplined you'd be. Some trades that I think are a little bit risky, I see other people taking. So it's finding what works right for you. We've all got our slight different interpretation of what is a good setup. So for that one, a few people took that one. It's a second entry short. Now, the bit going for it that it's at the EMA, but it is congested. Now, I spotted the higher low trap. Now, is that just going to trigger below and pull up? But I thought that one was slightly risky. I noticed it because I said it's going to trigger above there and come down, but I didn't know whether it'd come down to the bottom. We're clearly in a range, and I'm just a little bit extra cautious. So that's what I mean. Now, if I've got $10,000 in 5 PA accounts, I'd have probably took that. But at the moment, I've gone from being, just jumping into trades ridiculously too easy to being a little bit overcautious. And I think it's all part of the journey. You go from one extreme to the other, don't you? But sooner or later, I think you find some balance. And the more you see these trades, every single trader I've ever heard of said screen time, and that screen time will give you confidence to take more trades like this. But if that had triggered and gone up there and come down bearish and stopped me out, and I'd have said, why did that work? People say, well, there's 4 bars back to back, and we're clearly sideways. But as I think the Penguin guy says, you can trade congestion as long as you know what you're doing. And I think that's a case of, by the sounds things, that you took that, you knew what you were doing. And I'd say you're probably right. So it's just, where are you in your trading journey at the moment? Are you at this level where, I don't know how many times a day I say we've had a leg up there, we're going up there, and I see it. So why don't I find a trade? But because I'm just at that level now where my confidence level is just not confident enough to, but that comes with time, and I'm okay with that. I know trading takes time, and I'm in for the long haul, marathon, not a sprint and all that. But So we've got a leg down, leg down. I expect that to push up. Small breakout there, possibly the same there, but we'll see. So maybe a second entry long, maybe a long off this. I'm not a fan of picking bottoms at the moment. I don't think that's a terrible trade. It's a second entry long, but like I say, it's clearly respected that multiple times. I would prefer the bottom of that body though sitting right on that line, and that might encourage me to take that a bit, but I would say that is probably going to work, but I'm just not confident enough yet to take that. It's below the EMA, and that's okay in a range, you know, as it comes down the bottom of the range. It's going to be below the EMA, so taking a trade, and I see Mac take them all the time, but it is a second entry long. It is clearly 2 legs back, but I would just prefer that body a little bit closer to there, and that's what's put me off taking that trade. But second entry long is a bit risky. Yeah. See, in a week, hopefully the delay will be a couple of seconds, so we'll be able to talk about specific trades more real time. So it'd be nice to get your feedback on that trade, but by the time I ask you and by the time you answer me, it'll probably either be stopped you out or gone longer. But it'd be nice to help each other out with these. You know, does this look like a good trade? Are you looking for longs or looking for shorts? But when we got a 15-20 second delay, it doesn't do any of us any favours really. So what I will say is the other bit that's making me think as well, there is some very strong liquidity at 45.83 and a quarter. There's over 500 orders there, which is above here. So interesting that. So I would say that trade is definitely going to work. Low liquidity. Let's have a look. And it is 4583 and a quarter. 4583 and a quarter. Now it's funny that's there. So, interesting. And they're sell orders. So I would say, I would expect the market to hit this. So let's have a look. So new high. So there's a failure there which is triggered. There's a second entry long and there's a failure. The trouble is sideways, as we know, loads of traps. I would say personally, I would expect it to come up to here. So I would expect that failure, excuse me, to get the stop to get taken. And I would expect to get up to here. It's all right. I just predict these areas by what I see on Bookmap and see if it works. It just helps me get a bigger understanding of what I'm seeing on here and what I'm seeing on Bookmap. Is it giving me the right signals, you know? So I think Brant asked me the other day, does it really help me? And I'm still on the fence. I think it keeps me out of trades. So interesting. So there's a higher low there. There's a failed second entry long, which is triggered. My bias is still up to here. There's very strong liquidity there, over 500 orders. So I expect the market to push up to there. And if it gets above there and takes out that short, then I expect to come straight to the top here. But, you know, you could say short-term trend trying to break new high, try to go once, try to go twice, failure, close below the EMA, triggered. Okay, so if you took that, that failure thinking we're coming down now, I'm assuming most of you will have this range drawn anyway, and it just obviously, but so you wouldn't take a short in there, but there will be some that will have done. So if you did take that, there's your 2 points. I expect that to hit. But that helps me. I'm a big fan of level 2 heat map. Oh, good. Me as well. Me as well. What I've found in a lot of cases, well, it keeps me out of trades. And I like that. Now, it does take time. You know, I like, the way I see it is if there's masses of liquidity, it tells me traders with bigger pockets and more experience with me are expecting markets to go up. Now, if I see lots of people betting the market's going to go up, it just gives me a little bit more confidence that at some point, you've still got to wait for a setup. You can't just go massive liquidity, let's just buy. You've still got to wait for a setup, because it's the setups that then move the market on to the next level. So we've gone up here, we've had a failed breakout here, we've come down, and it's looking for a bar. There's a higher low there. There's a short trap, a failed second entry long trap. I think from that bar onwards is where the market then is going to move up to the next level. So for me, that's going to take us out. This run now is going to take us out and up. There is just no room in it right now. No, there isn't. You can stay out of this. I mean, you know, I just mentioned that would be the bar, but I wouldn't get in it because I can't even get 2 points out for the top, and it's just too risky. There'd have been a time where I want to go, oh yeah, there we go, second entry long, higher low, let's just go in, but it could do a little bit more of this before it goes up. That's if it does go up. But for me, it's, you know, Matt goes on about and everyone goes on about screen time. And the more I see this, we've got a leg up, 2 legs of correction and another leg up. The more I see this, it becomes clearer and clearer. And then when we hit these levels right to the nearest tick, it just bolsters that in my head. But you have to let this shit play out really before you get up there. So this possibly a failure. Yeah, book map just gives me a little bit of a comfort blanket, if you like. Fail second entry short, possibly, yeah. Trouble is, even with a failed second entry short, a second entry long and a higher low, it still makes it riskier because we're in the middle of this sideways stuff. So, and this is the areas where the algorithms can stop you out. 2 points with ATR 1.9. It's touching the ranges, yeah. That's where I like the ATR, actually. You can take a nice 2 points without stressing too much. Let's see what happens here. As I say, from this bar, I can't see it coming down below there before it pushes up. But it'd be interesting to see how that failure reacts if it ends up bullish and anyone takes it. But the trouble is, I've gotten to trades like this before thinking, hi, we're going up, and all of a sudden it triggers you, it drops like a frigging stone, takes out the stops for here, the stops there, and the stops there. And then what happens? We get leg down, and then it continues up. So it's just, it's dangerous trading all this, really. Took the second entry long and I'm holding the runner. Second entry long, that one, yeah, I think you're okay, but that's the trouble with these. See, look, now that never triggered, and if you took either of those, you're okay. But as I mentioned, I've seen this before. You get 3 loads of longs in there, and all of a sudden, wham, it takes them all out. But I'm glad that didn't trigger, because if anyone was going to take that. Problem is, it's dangerous taking it in here really as well, and for a reason being is it doesn't need to move much to take out loads of stops, and there'll be stops in under there, I guarantee it, and quite possibly here as well. And the trouble is, if it does move quick, it can take a lot more out as well. You've got a 2 point stop there, it can take you out for 3 and 4 points. So it's starting to look a bit more definitive. So that one has triggered now. So let's see now if this does push up. I think it will, but you just don't know, do you? it does add that little bit of extra risk trading in congestion like this. So there'll be traders in there that got stopped. Let me have a look. No, you're still okay there. Or did that stop you out? No, I think it dropped first before it triggered, didn't it? So you're okay. Traders are okay there. You're okay and you're okay here. Yeah, there'd have been a time where I'd have taken that trade or that one, but not anymore. Right at the top of the right. Yeah, it's risky. Anything's riskier in here, you know. I know what I think it's likely going to do. At some point, for me, it's going to push up and have another leg. But whether it'll do it right now, I much prefer it to start moving out of this before I think... Just when it starts to look like it's about to burst, it just comes back, shits you up a bit, doesn't it? But once it gets out of that top, I think it'll do it with a little bit of vigour. Yeah, absolutely. Not to say we pretty much know where it's going. We've got a fair idea of where it's going. And if we've got the luxury of having a stop down here, then it's not so bad. But because we have such tight margins when we're trading, there's 3 lots of stops there, see? So it wouldn't be the first time all of a sudden it's just dropped, pushed back up and gone higher. So being in a trade where it's going sideways is riskier and it's torture, in my opinion. I hate going in trades when they go sideways. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if that drops like a stone quickly, just to take these lots of stops out. Okay, so if you did have your stops there, you've just got taken out here. You're safe at the moment. But if it triggers below there, I'd be shocked if it doesn't trigger below that one as well. Hopefully you'll be okay. But as I mentioned a minute ago, we could have a leg down and a leg down, so it's possible it could bounce off the official open. I hope it doesn't. If there's enough traders in here with stops, that usually gives you that little bit more protection. And it's the lowest point out of all this. It is a second entry long, so hopefully. That was a little more risky because it's, well, you're 3/4 to the top and it's a little bit congested, but I think you may be right here. We shall see. Buying 45.81. Depends where your stop is. 45.81's about here, isn't it? It's just below the midline, I'd say. For me, the strongest liquidity is up here. Prices move towards liquidity. So for me, we're moving up. We've got a leg up there made of 2 separate legs. 1 leg, 2 legs back. And we're moving up. I expect to get up here, certainly to this area, I'd say. It's like very top of body play. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what I will say, I've got into trades like this before. Usually they work. And I've been in them before and I've gone like that. And in the end, I've got out of them for a loss of a tick. And usually the second I get out of them, this happens. Boom. Which it's going to happen now, I'd say. Once we hit this liquidity level here, a couple of ticks higher, we'll push above that one. And then we'll have a little surge, I think. But yeah, sometimes you might take these trades and in the end you'll lose your bottle and you'll get out of them. And usually, I did it was about a month ago. I sat here for ages and I got out, and literally 2 seconds after I got out, it went boom, 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 boom. Up it went. Okay, so that's eating up that liquidity. So we're out at the top now. So I would say we're safe to go long. Or we're safe to move up, shall I say. As long as this closes outside the top. So let's see if this maybe traps some more shorts in here. I mean, that's quite a strong bar, that is. See if this triggers any shorts in. You're in, are you? Hopefully you're in and out. I think you're okay. That's triggered now. There'll be some traders taking that, and that's triggered. If that breaks above there, for me, that's when we move higher. What did you get in again? What did you say you got in at? Buying it. 45.81 3/4. Yeah, I like the way that's forming. I think you're safe. Once that triggers above there, there's a trap there, I'd say, personally. 45.81. 45.81. Right there then. So, depending on where you're getting... Oh, you said you're coming out at 85. Yeah, I think you're golden there. There. Good place to get out that. Once we get above ESA, I think we'll push straight to that. Need to get above there, and then I think you're golden then. There's some strong liquidity at 87, so for me, the signals for me is we're moving up. It's pretty clear. Leg up, 2-leg correction, another leg up, 2-leg correction, and another leg up. Push, we do it all the time. We get a push up, then we go sideways, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then eventually we make a mirror image, and that takes us up to these areas there. So I think we're safe now. That's for me. The next little bit of resistance is there, which I don't think's nothing. And then I think we'll hit your target pretty quick then. This needs to finish relatively bullish, which I think it will. But yeah, it is still possible it could just drop quickly. I don't think it will. Once we get above here, it'll hit there pretty quick, I think. Yeah, so if you did take that one or that one or that one and you managed to have the confidence to hold on, you're okay. Okay, you're going to tick off your target. There you go, straight through it. That's it. There's nothing stopping this now, see, so... I think that's just there to make you panic. So yeah, that push. So good on you, mate. Straight in. I thought once it got above here, once it got above there, it would just push straight through it, so... You notice when it triggered it, they came back nice and bearish, so... I see it often does that, doesn't it? You think, yeah, great, and then all of a sudden you get that red bar and you think, oh my Christ. And then it carries on. In fact, time is it? 4 o'clock. See if we got anything from Mac yet. Yes. Excellent. So my target is up here. So whether we'll do it in one push, I don't think so. I think we'll go up so far, then we'll have maybe a slight. We might do something like this, but oh, he's only literally just put it on. Yeah, he's pretty much got weave on. How's he done that? He's done this channel going from there. Yeah, so he's done it how I initially did it in the end, how I changed it to an overshoot. There's Max there, yeah. He's done it from there, and there's the small overshoot and down, and then we do start pushing up. So pushing up sideways, and obviously he's only just put it on because that's where we are now. Oh, actually, I think there is where he's up to. So we've pushed out there. We're going to come back and retest this, and then for me, we're going to move on up. So let's have a look. So let's move that up to 87. So we're assuming. Well, I'm always thinking that it could be, but at the moment, we've only really touched this first bit at the bottom, and then if you look here, all these bottoms are moving up. Excuse me. So for me, am I going to take a trade here at the top? No, just in case it does do that. But the overall picture is telling me we're going up, so if we can get above this and come back and maybe retest the top and get into a bigger channel, then that's what I'm expecting. I mean, I might be wrong, which is why I'm not prepared to take a trade up here. But for me, the picture is up. Trouble is, you've always got to be aware that there is a possibility. But if you think that where's the top here? We've only bounced off it once. Where's the bottom here? Bounced off it 3 times. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a range. There's clearly an upward bias, isn't there? So look what's happening here. Pushed up. We've had a little bit of a pullback. See what happens when this triggers. For me, it's pushing up. I'm looking for a higher low. Yeah. Just the overall picture is showing us we've had a leg up and a couple of legs back. And this is another leg up. Now, it's not as smooth as there. There's a bit of sideways. There's a little bit of confusion involved in. But for me, it's, you know, it's pretty clear. Once you see this day in, day out, you start to get a bit of an understanding. It starts to get, it looks messy, but it starts to get clear. It's like if you look at book maps, when you look at it for the first time, it's completely confusing, but it's actually really straightforward. So yeah, if we can get above here and maybe get something like a higher low or a second entry or something that gives us another indication that now is the time we're moving, then I'll be interested in that. Excuse me. I would have considered second entry long at the EMA, didn't hold. Yeah, so you went here, didn't you? So we've got a leg down here. This could be like a hidden second entry, I don't know. Okay, so that may be sort of like a hidden second entry long. See what happens. Leg. Second entry short. Now there is a lot of buy orders at 80.25 here. So leg, we may push up from here. Looks like a hidden leg and a leg, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the thing, is at any time it can start to be unclear. For me, the picture's still up. But obviously you've got to wait for a decent setup. So if this ends up bullish, it's the safer bet is going to be waiting for the higher low above here. It is a hidden second entry long if it finishes nice. But it can still trigger you, stop you out, and then push up. So. Interesting. I didn't think it'd come down as low as here. It's exactly the same point, that is. Interesting, that. Yeah, so usually when we have a breakout, it usually just retests the top and pushes up, but I didn't expect that. Bum, bum, bum. See, it's not a terrible bar to take. What I don't like is it's pushed out and it's come right back to the bottom. So that's what would make me leave that trade. And it's quite a big ass bar, but it's certainly a bar that's telling me something. It's only 2.5 points. It's not huge. It is tempting. It is a hidden second entry long, but I didn't expect that to come right back down to the bottom. Once we pushed above all these, I expected it to retest this top, which is why I'm not taking that trade. Now, if we can get a higher low, pushing out and sitting on the top, then that would interest me, but trouble is, markets go choppy like this, they can be unpredictable then. Let's remove that. I'd say this is, I think you're probably safe if you're in here, but it's just too rich for my blood, that. Especially when it's doing this. Hey lads, good job with the trade. Good job. Oh, thanks, mate. It was only a small one. It was here, actually. I got in there. It looked like a bottoming pattern. Fortunately, I got out. I just worked out that it was just a little bit confusing. Although we were moving up, I mean, we came down there and took that out. But at the end of the day, it's all right. 3/4 of a point sometimes. But I had mine drawn like that, and I wasn't convinced we were going to make a new low. when I saw that, that's what got me into it. But obviously it went a bit sideways because that channel was a little bit unclear. But for me, I marked it here and here, which meant we had an overshoot. And then fortunately, Mac marked exactly the same. So whether we'd had an overshoot there or an overshoot here, either way, it looked like it was a double bottom. We pushed up, tried to go lower again, trapped some shorts. I thought that was going to move up a bit quicker. So that's interesting. So that short there is triggered. So is that going to come down and take out them longs? It's just getting a bit unclear now. So that's interesting, that is. I thought, well, I was assuming once we got above here we would go, but now I've just redrawn that. It's probably still working within there, isn't it? So, okay, folks, I'm just going to disappear for a few minutes. I'm going to have a quick break, and I'm going to make a quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Interesting that. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, as I thought it would at some point. So if you'd have took that, that worked. So that's the trouble. Pretty much know where it's going. It's just finding an entry which is going to allow you to get in. Hidden second entry long. Just came back, spooked you a bit, but it worked in the end. Really tempting, yeah. Trouble is, mate, if you take it, triggers you, stops you out. It's one of those things, isn't it? You don't do nothing, it rockets up as soon as you do something. Turns around and shafts you. It's bloody annoying, isn't it? So, everything's doing exactly what I expected it to. It's clearly going where I expected it to, and that's good. I like predicting these because it gives me confidence that I'm reading the market and the signs. The signs are telling me we've got a leg up in two separate sections with a two-legged correction, and another leg up in two separate sections. In fact, I'll probably bring that down there, and that is taking us. In fact, I'll probably take that to there actually, and that is taking us right where the bigger picture. So, two separate legs, or one big one. Two legs of correction. Two separate legs. Maybe there, or one big one, and this is the target. The liquidity up here is at 90, which is taking us to here, and then I expect maybe if we can get another pull back a bit, then it's going to continue up. But all the signs, and that's what it is. It's just looking at the bigger picture and figuring out what we're looking at. See, a lot of people will be looking at this and thinking, "Oh, range," but you know. Once you sort of start to see this picture, you can work out where it's going. Now, working out the route it's taking is a different matter. Yeah, it has been tough, isn't it? It's not clear. I suppose it forces you to become a better trader. There are trades in, obviously there was that one. It just, I don't know. If I take a trade and it goes wrong, and I say, why did it go wrong? My answer would be that there was 4 bars back to back and a little bit of congestion. And it doesn't mean to say it's not going to work. It is a second entry short. And if we're in this bigger channel, a lot of traders will have that marked. They'll maybe expect this to go long, but it's by the by anyway. You know, you'll adapt and with experience and get better and all that sort of stuff. It's okay. It's okay to miss trades. Never got a problem with missing a trade. I'd much rather miss it than not be confident I've read it right and make a mistake. I'm not sure about that just yet. So we got a leg sideways and another leg. So that hit that liquidity like I expected. Now there is some from 87.5 to 90. 87.5 to 90. Now the reason I do keep putting these things in it is just giving me extra reasons where it's going to go. The measured leg is telling me it's going over here, up here. The liquidity up here, it's telling me it's coming up. So just the combination of all these extra little factors. Where's the start of that? 7.5. So let me have a look. Yeah, it's about 7.5 through to 90. Okay, so that is an important part for me. This is where, so if we can get a couple of legs back here, then there may be an option there. But just like so many times we get a break and then it just pushes strong through. But there is building up a little resistance there, so perhaps we may come back a bit and retest. Now the reason that we thought it was a breakout and came back in, because it wasn't really a breakout, because the channel seemed to be higher. Obviously I had it down here at some point. Was it about here? Something like that. and I thought it was going to come back and retest, but I think the bigger picture is showing us this. And we touched here, touched here, touched here, touched here. So this is, we hadn't finished yet. It's getting a decent signal bar to push up. That probably wasn't because it was email, it's flat. The higher low, not so sure. But that one did hold, but hidden second entry, long, nice solid bar right off the bottom. Now, obviously, we pretty much know where it's going, but it's getting a decent signal bar that's going to entice enough traders to then push it up and out. And obviously, that was the bar. It was solid enough just to grab a load of traders and go, okay, this is the one. Let's get in, and it worked. Sorry, mate. Okay, fine. There we go. So a little bit of resistance here, may come back and retest this top, which is all right. Right on the edge of this liquidity. Right on the edge of it. So will it push out or will it come back first? I'm hoping it comes back first because it may give us an entry. That's actually moving a bit higher, that is. There. Yeah, just going to quickly drag in the 10,000 tick chart. So this is the bigger picture I'm looking at there. So we've got one leg, two legs, and we've come back and we've got another leg, two legs, and overall one leg, two leg. So this is where I expect it to get to, around about 95, which is, actually it's there. So oh, interesting. I kind of like that.
Order submitted.
That finishes bullish. I'm going to have to take that. Quite surprised. Oh.
Order cancelled.
Oh, I thought. There we go. Fell breakout. Push up, a little bit of sideways, fell breakout.
Order submitted. But that's making me nervous about this is there's not much room to the highs. Order cancelled.
Oh, okay, I'm kind of glad the bar's finished now, to be fair. I mean, with us moving up like this, a little bit of sideways and a quick drop out, a bounce off here, off the key entry point, nice and bullish is an interesting place to go. You know, of interest to go along, but I don't know. What I would have preferred is it to come a touch lower, and reason being, if you look at that, we've got two legs up, a leg up. There's a bearish bar there. See, I was hoping, in fact, has that triggered? It has, yeah, that bearish bar's triggered. Pushed up, a little bit of sideways push up, so that's triggered. So I'd expect that then to push on up from there, trap some shorts, and that's on the 10,000 tick chart. Yeah, that's why I left it only one leg down. But you could fade the breakout, couldn't you? Call it a little bit of sideways. When that's a breakout, obviously that's a trade we take. But I just, obviously that bar never finished right, and that bar didn't. So it's just a bit unclear. But that's the thing nowadays. Market just, it's so choppy. Going back 12 months, it operates exactly like you expect it to operate. Less traps, more setups. But I don't know what's changed. Okay, there is a bunch of buy orders here, so maybe if that breaks below, you could call that a hidden second entry long. Push down, maybe call that one leg. If it triggers below here, you know, everything for me is pointing up. The liquidity's up here, the measured legs are up here. We've clearly got an upward biased leg up, leg up. So you could call that a hidden second entry long. What to do? What to do? Trouble is, if you call it a hidden second entry long, it's clearly congested, isn't it? So it's clearly bouncing on the top. Leg down, prefer than maybe a little push and then a nice push up. Didn't expect that. Let me just see if there's another channel working up here now. Okay, so although I expect it to come up to, and I still do, as I mentioned, the route that it takes is a completely different ball game. So maybe, I mean, we usually go off these first two swings. That would make sense. Go off there and then here. So, and funnily enough, it fits pretty decent at the top. So maybe that's a route we're going to see. Let's just clear this up a bit. Okay, excuse me just for 2 minutes. back. Let's have a look. What have I missed? Down, sitting on my hands, absolutely. Maybe rolling over. Who knows, mate? I think prices would have reached 45.90. Yeah. So, what happened to my channel? Did I get rid of it? I thought I put a channel there. So, that fits nice at the top. Touch. See what happens here. So I'm expecting it to go up. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do it in one swoop. So, let's get rid of that. Make it a bit clearer. So I think it's possible. We've come off here. That's the sort of next swing, really, anyway. So, and it fits once, twice, three times. It fits nice at the top. So we've touched it once. We've come off it there. We've touched it with the stem nicely there, and we've touched it a couple of times there. If we can get close to it here, and then start pushing up, that's okay. That's the trouble. Just because we're going up doesn't mean you could sort of just jump in here, because it's like you don't know what route it's going to take. So, little channel there, maybe an overshoot. Let's make that a different colour. What the hell? Where's it gone? What is going on here? Okay, so it's only a possibility that I've just gone from these early swings here, but I do expect another leg up at some point. So little channel there, maybe a bit of a break or overshoot, one of the two, which often then turns into a reversal. So let's see. Max shows. What have I missed? Hey Chris, how you doing? Good job with the trade, thank you, mate. What have I missed? What have I missed? Max shows screenshots throughout the day. Oh, does he? Just on his chart, Matt. I think that's what you mean, isn't it, bud? He just has a mid-morning chart, which took us up to here, I think. So let's see what's going on here. Interesting. Okay, a lot of cases in these channels we go up and then we go sideways until we get to the key entry point where we see a good solid looking trade. At the moment, really, we're still going sideways. This seems to be a failed breakout at the moment because we're still same bouncing off this area here. And it's not closed at all below there. So it's finding some really solid resistance there. We've had a breakout, we come back. Yeah, no worries, Chris. No worries. Yeah, I think that's what you mean, mate. Just max mid-morning chart. I wish you would. Okay, so a little channel down here. Whether we got a break here and a new low or an overshoot does seem like I'd still feel more comfortable in getting around this area really before I think about going long. Possible second entry short there. Just can't short that because we're clearly moving up and it's just clearly sideways and choppy. So that second entry short was triggered. Excuse me. Little channel there. Trouble is, looks like we've had a break or an overshoot. And for me, I'm still thinking long at the moment, so it's not something I want to be interested in anyway. And then where people think it's a channel, we've had a break, 1, 2 legs up, trigger. For me, I'm not interested. Trouble is, if we are going to continue higher, and even if I decided to put a trade above there, we're still close to this, and we've had a failed breakout of it. Although I am thinking we're going up, I can be wrong. So putting a trade there when I haven't got 2 points to the top is risky. You know, I'd much prefer it closer to this line. What to do? What to do? Do you know what? I don't know whether to just trade one of my accounts. Okay. Let's just trade one of my accounts.
Order submitted.
Not all of them above there. That would trigger the failure. I'm not prepared to trade them all. Okay, it's a second entry short. If it triggers above there, it's triggered the failure. For me, we're going up maybe.
Order filled.
Okay, so see what happens. I'm not going to trade all my accounts anyway, just in case I'm wrong. Excuse me. Not even sure if this is right, in all honesty. But it's very choppy, isn't it? 2.25 risk, so it's not terrible. It is below the EMA, but I quite often see Mac taking those. I'm just going to take 6 ticks off this, though. Actually, no, I'm just going to get out there for a point, because we're at the top again, aren't we? Okay, so that worked for a point, so that'll do, mate. I've got no problem with taking a point there. I'd say it's probably going to push higher. I'm still expecting it to push higher. But the reason I like it, and I know it's below the EMA a bit, the reason I like it is because we've had this channel down here and there's a second entry short there, which is triggered. So I'd say it's going to trap a few traders, so I at least expect it to get to the top. So I'll make for a point. I only traded one of my accounts. I just toggled off the rest of them because, you know, some days I just think I like the trade. I think it's okay. But, you know, you just think, I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to trade everything. So it was just 1 point, wasn't it? So that's okay. Sometimes when it's like this, 1 point's okay to take. I don't think it's a problem with it. So it's a failed second entry short, and there's a trap after coming down here. There's an overshoot there, or what's it there, and it's bounced off there. So for me, it's pushing off that bottom anyway. So there's enough room to get out for the scalp. But sometimes it's just worth taking $100 on one of your accounts. $100 is $100. It's better than a kick in the teeth. So it's a failed second entry short, and it's just 1 point. So that'll do me. Plus 1 point. There we go. Hey? What are you doing, boy? Not $1. 1 point. Okay, so that's there anyway, so let's move that out of the way. So let's toggle the rest of them back on and make sure they're all back in.
Order submitted.
Yes, excellent.
Order cancelled.
Okay. Yeah, lots of short traps. Yeah, see, after we've had this failed breakout, I wouldn't be surprised if there are traders thinking, oh, we're hitting this top, we're coming back. So you've come down, you're going to try to go higher once. Yeah, just second entry off here. It's clearly naff anyway. I mean, we've got a little channel which fits quite nice there. So there's a little bit of an overshoot there, or an overshoot at the bottom, whichever it is. That's telling me it's bouncing up. That's the thing I like about this book map. It's showing me that there's strong orders up here, which is taking the market up. Now, I'm confident I know where it's going, but the route it's taking, obviously you've got to be a little bit more careful. So if you look at that now, it's clearly a failed second entry short. I think it's quite a nice area to go long, so I would expect it to push up. If we can get above here and close, then I expect it. But the trouble is, you know, it's okay. We often get a push up and then we'll go sideways and then we'll push up again. When I pushed up there, I expected it to retest the tops here. I didn't expect it to come back down and bounce off again. So obviously things, you know, I wouldn't normally expect it to do that. Usually once we break off, we'll retest the tops of the range and then we'll push up again. So there's a lot of reasons to come up here. One, the smaller measured legs, the bigger measured legs, and these areas of liquidity, certainly to the top of here. But if we can get across above here, then that's for me where it's going to go. So we've got liquidity, we've got this measured leg, we've got yesterday's highs. There's lots of reasons that this market is going up. So the overall picture is telling me it's going up. So if I can get a half decent setup, which is going to push up, I'll take it. Now, if I think it might be slightly risky, I don't think there's any problem with saying, okay, I'm not going to trade all my PAs. Let's just trade one. So it was 2 point risk. So it's not the end of the world. You know, would I want to trade all my 5 PAs? No. But, you know, I am expecting it to go up, and it's just finding a good reason. So we had a failed breakout. We came around. So whether you say there's a break and a new low or an overshoot there, either or would indicate then a reversal, especially if we bounced off nice and solid, which we've done multiple times up here. It has not broken. It has not sort of closed below that line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a dozen different times it's you know, gone to come down there. But I think it's okay sometimes to go, look, I'd rather make a bit of money and have a, you know, a little bit less risk, and then, you know, it's okay. So I got a quick point scalp. It was the right call. Nice read. Yeah, the trouble is, because it's a little bit unpredictable, it just makes it a little bit... Now, I see Mac taking trades below the EMA all the time if we're going long and vice versa. And I don't really think it matters. As long as you've got the direction right, I don't think it matters that it does close below the EMA. That bar has just happened to end there. It's, you know, it's one of those things. But am I confident it's going to go straight up from here? I thought there was a good chance, but I'm not prepared to risk it past here. So I took a quick $100 on one of my accounts, and I'm happy with that. $100 is, you know, I'm not humble enough that I'm quite happy with $100. It's keep anything that knocks my accounts up, but I wasn't confident enough to say let's risk all my accounts on it. So what else did I take down here? It was that one, wasn't it? What did I get on that one? Was that 3/4 of a point? It was, wasn't it? So all in all, it's been a bit of a choppy day, but I am starting to understand the overall picture, and it's helping me get some money out of it. Some days the way you make money is going to be a bit scrappy. You know, we'd all love to get into lovely, clear-cut, push-up, beautiful second entry long, 2 perfect measured legs down above the EMA, nice and bullish. We'd all love to take those, but they are few and far between. So sometimes you've got to be prepared to take a bit less. So I took 3/4 of a point there, and I made it. If I'd have taken my usual 2 points, I'd have lost that trade. Would have stopped me out here. So sometimes it's good just to take a little bit less and just get something rather than, you know, market conditions are a bit choppy at the moment. But so that was a failed second entry short. I am surprised that came down and broke below there, probably because it went a bit sideways. So that was a failed second entry short. Three ticks. Not my most proudest trade, but there you go. It all helps, doesn't it? So, but I don't know how many times I've worked out this is where it's going, and we all do it now, and it goes exactly where I expect. So if you can get in on a decent trade, you know, I think as we trade more and more, we're going to get the confidence to be able to work out what's going on. If you can get in on these moves nice and early, and think, okay, so we've literally just made this, we've had this leg up, we've made these 2 legs of correction. There's a nice big bearish bar there. Now, as we push up there, is it going to come down lower than there? Chances are it's not going to. Slim to none, I'd say, especially if we're going to go, and you'll have the confidence at some points to hold on to your runners. And if you would have held on there, you'd have been up 12 points. If you'd have held there, you'd have been up 20 points. So imagine getting 20 points on a runner. Let's have a look. I admire your patience. I'm trying to get there as well. I tilted 5 evals today. Done it before, mate. That had only 400 left to pass. I'll tell you something in a minute. Tilt and trade in chop, yeah. I've had $20 to pass before, and I failed. Just jumping in on a trade, trying to get that extra couple of ticks, and it's gone against me. So yeah, I've done it. All I'll say, mate, is don't beat yourself up. You're programmed to do everything the complete opposite of a trader. A trader is to keep calm, is to have patience when things are going wrong, to keep calm. It's not a normal human response to do that. It's a human response to panic. When we lose something, we want it back. And not only do we want it back now. We're not prepared to wait. And hence, that's where you go on tilt. You just go crazy. You just jump in. Panic takes over. It's a normal response. I spent so many times literally slapping my own face out of frustration. But yeah, you just have to go with it. The only thing I can suggest is don't beat yourself up. Just tell yourself it's all part of the journey. It's all part of training that mind very, very slowly in tiny little steps to be able to adapt to the conditions and the stresses of the market. That's the only way you get there. No one is born a great trader. No one just jumps in. Some people will get it quicker than others. Those type of people, I think, are the people that may get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They might go out and do a 5-mile run. They'll come back and they'll have a smoothie. They'll eat good, high-quality food every day. When they get home from work, they'll go to the gym. They're mentally tough and focused. Some people are like that. And I personally think people like that would do particularly well at trading. But most of us, we're like headless chickens. We run around panicking. And that's just the way we've been brought up. It is what it is, but it does take time to develop the right mindset for it, and there's no magic bullet. It's just, you just trade and trade and trade till you get that sick of making stupid, soddy mistakes, chucking away money. You start to change. We know, you can get a young 17-year-old lad who can't get out of bed, lazy, can't even make his own bed, can't get a job, late, and you can put him in the army, and 9 months later you've turned him into a super fit, mentally focused, fighting fit soldier. So we know we can not only train the body to adapt to situations, but you can train the mind. And this is a mind battle, and it does take time to keep working on focusing that mind. So don't beat yourself up, mate. I've blown loads of evaluations. I've blown 200 evaluations, I have. In fact, I've got another evaluation which I passed a few days ago. That's number 206. And that's a lot of evaluations, so don't beat yourself up, mate. We always try and push things just to get over the line, and a lot of times it backfires. It's all part of the journey, mate. But just do the sensible thing and get your evaluations when they're cheap. 80% off and 90% off. Don't pay the 50% anymore whenever we have those short spells of 50% weight. Because trading costs money, and you can help yourself by, trying to keep it to a minimum. Just thought... I see the moves and entries, but once I start to tilt, forget it. Psychological. Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a lady that I watched. She actually subscribes to my channel. It's one of my proudest moments. Her name's Creda. I'll see if I can find her. She's a performance coach. And she says it's called dissociation. Now, we've all been, you're like young idiots, haven't we? We've all been in fights, haven't we, when we've been younger? Get a few beers down you think you can take on the world. Now, you don't go into a fight there with your fists up thinking, right, keep your fists up, think about what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. You go in there and you panic and you start swinging like a crazy man, and all the rules and all the planning goes out the window. And it's panic. It's called dissociation, where to hell with the rules. I mean, how many people have been killed or shot in the heat of the moment, in thick argument, in these thick arguments, because we panic, we don't think clearly. And when powerful emotions kick in, we do things that we wouldn't normally do. There you go. Creda Performance. That's the girl there. She's from she's from Dublin, I think. But yeah, watch one of these, revenge trading, but it's called dissociation. So in other words, to hell with the rules, you just jump in and you panic. Because we've all done it, and then you blow an account, and then 15 minutes after it's all gone, you're sitting thinking, what the hell have I done? Hello, Nicholas. Where have you been hiding, mate? I thought you'd dead and buried, mate. I thought you'd disappeared on us. How you doing, brother? Okay, so we got a leg up, break, a leg up. So we're hitting these liquidity levels now. And as we know, our measured moves are up here. So yeah, don't beat yourself up, mate. We've all done it. It's all part of the journey. I will check her out. Yeah, look at that video. It's called Dissociation, where it's to hell with the rules. You panic. We've all been in those situations where we do stupid things. That sort of looks like it's working the way we think it is. But yeah, you're mentally programmed. It's just the way we've been brought up. You know, you want something and you don't want to give it up. And then when it gets taken away from you, you make stupid decisions to get it back. Good. Out here to find trades in these boring times. Yes, it's hard going in it at the moment, mate. I was looking through some of my old charts going back a year or so, and I was seeing like nice trend channel down. We had like a nice second entry there. Then we had a lower high. Then further down, we had a second entry. Then we had a failure. And it was like 4 or 5 beautiful trades in one go. But it's a hard push now, isn't it, mate? You've got to be a bit smarter, haven't you? See, these aren't obvious trades. That one I got 3/4 of a point because I worked out it was just getting a bit there. But that one, it's not like a normal trade to take, is it? But if you see that we've got a channel down there, we've got a break or an overshoot and a failure, you can get a little, and it's about just grabbing a point or two when you can, I think, isn't it? Also, I wish Apex offered a paid surface to reset my... Yeah. You never know, mate. I'm sure they've looked into things like that. I want that number back to sealed. I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. I try and keep all my numbers hidden just out of embarrassment. Yeah, well, I've just told everyone I'm on my 206. It's not necessarily because I've blown 206 accounts the right way. It's because I've gambled probably 3/4 of it like we all do. But yeah, it'd be nice if you could set it, if you could pick a number, put it down to 18. That doesn't sound too pathetic, does it? Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. I know what you're saying. So, okay, so if you think there's the top here, there's a little breakout here, see? And you may trade that, but for me, we've got a leg up there, a pullback, high or low. That for me is going up. Now, I know there's liquidity going up to 90, and I know these measured legs, so I would say I am almost certain that is going to take that. So maybe there's traders going, okay, this is a range. But if the bigger picture is, it's not, is it? We're clearly working up. The top, that is higher than that. That is higher, so that's, for me, going up. Also, you've got to remember that we blow them in groups of 10. Absolutely. That's another one of my excuses. I've only actually blown 10 of them. No, I've only actually blown 20. They just happened to be in blocks of 10 at the time. Yeah, I know what you're saying, mate. So the frustrating thing is, up until about 160, I only ever did one at a time. But that's just between me and you, mate. So, can you drop a link for her? Yes, I can, mate. Oh, no, you can't put links. Tell you what, I'll get it back up again. I'll get it back up and you can look back at the video later. Creator performance. See, I'll dangle it in front again, mate. That's it there. You can't put links on here, so I'll leave this on here for a few seconds and you can look back later, but it's just Creator, the performance coach. But there's some good videos in there, interesting videos actually, but that one particularly talks about dissociation, and she's quite easy on the eyes as well, isn't she? So there's another reason to watch it. But yeah, there's another one I listen to as well now and again, The Disciplined Trader. Just gives you like a pep talk. But yeah, that's her there. So have a look at that later. But yeah, that's the video. But there's a bunch of them there. But that one, in fact, I've not seen the new one. How to, what does that say? Secrets scaling up without blowing up. Oof, sounds dangerous. But there you go. So have a look at her and she'll explain it. But anytime, Robin. No problem, mate. it's failed 200 accounts, but realistically blew 10 chances. That's it, mate. That's it. Yeah. I've got to say, though, my PAs are up to 32, and I've got 5 of them. So I've only blown like 27 of those, so that doesn't sound too bad. Blown 27. But if you had, I know, who was it? I think Wilson had, bless him, Wilson had 20 accounts and he ended up blowing them all. And I know that because a video he put out maybe a month or two later said he had one $300,000 evaluation and 19 $50,000. So I know he blew them. And that must have been really tough to blow 20. But it just goes to show you blow 20 in one go. It sounds like a lot to blow, but you're only really effectively blowing one. The rest are just, all part and parcel. But, I've got 5 at the moment, and I've decided just to stick to the 5 until I can take a payment from a few of them, and then I may bring it up to 10. But the trouble is, if you can't manage PA accounts, then managing 20 is tough. You get a couple of losses there and they can really mess with your brain. So this is still quite a choppy day. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure the picture I'm seeing is right. Leg up, a couple of legs of correction, and a messy leg up. But this is the area I expect to get to. But I thought that might be the one, actually, bounce, retest, and then push up. But it's just maybe trapped a bunch of other people in there before it's pushed up. So that's interesting. I'm not taking that because that channel has at a break in a new high. So it could do something like this, come back a bit before it goes up. So I'm not taking that. In all fairness, I'm not too bad up for the day. I did a trade on one of my accounts this morning, so over all my accounts, 260, 370, 470, 570, I'm about $620 up on all my PAs, so I'm quite happy to not take anything else unless there's something really good. I'm pretty sure I know where it's going, but the route it might take may throw a few curveballs. So that liquidity now is floating around about there. Yeah, but watch her, Robin. She's all right, actually. She knows what she's talking about. I believe she works with some traders, some British traders on their psychology. So even these educated young kids who come out of university and get sucked up by the big banks, they'll go through the same thing. All these city banks, you think they know it all, they can handle it all, but no, they still have people going around there working, with the psychological side of their traders. This stuff just doesn't come natural. Okay, when we're going to get this push? I think once we get above there, we're at the top of the tree. Then I expect then to get a bit more of a push. Just can't go long yet, really. I'm pretty sure I know where it's going, but there's just it's just too choppy. It's just very slow today. In fact, to be honest with you, the way it's been lately, I'm quite pleased to get what I have out of the market today. I'm sure there's better times ahead. If there's lots of the big boys on holidays at the moment, there's obviously less liquidity flowing through here, and obviously less. You know, we're getting to these areas, but we're doing it a lot slower with a lot more chop. But once these big market mover type people come into it, then we get a lot more sort of fluent moves. In fact, folks, I think I'm going to knock up on the end today. I'm quite happy with what I've taken out of the market today. I'm not going to push my luck. My patience has been okay at the moment. It's not been a bad day at all, so I'm quite happy to come out of the market with what I've got because it has been so tough lately. So that is it for today. So not a terrible day, not the best day. But it's obviously, you can see there's a lot less liquidity. I mean, sometimes I've had to really, I see some of the lads on the Facebook group having to print this out in 2 separate pages because there's that much volume in. But obviously there's a lot less today, so but it's pretty clear where we're going. But obviously the route we're taking is another matter. But we do seem to be whittling up slowly, and this is where I expect it to get to before long. I don't think it'll be long. Once we get above here, then and push up, and a couple of times we've bounced. Once we get above here, then I'd expect us to hit this 90. There is a mass of liquidity. There's 500 orders there, so I expect it. Once we get above here, we're only literally a 1.5 above this. So unfortunately, we've had a little break from here, a new high, and there's no entry there really. It's just a bit congested. So we're above here now. Let's have a look. I expect the aggressive orders to go push up. Yeah, they are. So 250. It's evening out a bit, but we may get a small pullback. But I expect it this pretty quick. We're a 1.25 off it, and that'll hit that liquidity area, and we'll push through there a bit. So we may end up making another couple of little trips up and down before we get up there, but that's where I expect it to get up to. In May, that might not be far away, so we'll see. So yeah, that's it for today, folks. So it's not been a bad day. I've managed to get a little bit of money out. Total of about 600 quid over on my account. So that's not dollars, sorry. So that's not too bad, actually, in the grand scheme of things. It's not been brilliant lately. There's a little bit less money flowing in the market, I'm assuming. People seem to think, but it's because of the institutional guys are taking their orders, and that would make sense. Obviously, there's a lot less large amounts going through. Hence, it's working up, but it's doing it sort of, in little bits at a time. So appreciate all your comments. So you've had something today. Not been a bad day for me. I'm going to go and sit downstairs, have a nice whiskey, and I'm going to have my dinner and have a relaxing evening. Nothing nicer than finishing green for the day, and it makes evenings a lot more relaxing. So have a great evening, folks. Stay safe as always. Don't forget, last week of the Apex 80% off, then I'm guessing we may go to 50% off resets for a week and then back to the 80s. We may be lucky and get a 90% off, but I don't think there's any US holidays for a while, so I'm not sure. So last week anyway, my code's down there as usual. If you use it or you have used it, it's appreciated. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll be back. Cheers, guys. I appreciate all your comments. And we're back again, same time tomorrow, and hopefully we might have another day. So see you guys. See you tomorrow.